Alright, we're gonna watch this video. Actually, two videos. So, alright, you might be wondering the difference between MPS, which is momentum pivot skittering, and slippery scaling. So the difference, there's two differences. If you look at this clip, this is more of an MPS. And we could even watch it in like 75 speed. Look at that, right? That's an MPS. That's a momentum pivot skitter. We know that it's a momentum pivot skitter because, come back, it starts with a swing. He lets go of this hand, just like you would an MPS. Everything's perfect. And then you see like this arch he does, right? It starts from here and it just like arch like this, right? And he barely makes it. That's momentum pivot skitter. Go back and watch it again. Okay? Momentum pivot skitter, that's what that is. So what is slippery scaling? And why is it different? Let's look at slippery scaling. This was found 3 hours ago. And let's play this one in 75% speed and I'll just let it speak for itself. Okay. Do you see the difference? Notice that when we do this, you're actually like able to like grip the slippery surface. Now, this does not happen in MPS. Like way back when we were doing ISSS, we can find here. Here's the initial documentation for ISSS, right? So what would happen a lot of the time on ISSS is we would do it. I wonder if there's a better video. Here, first I skip. So this is how we used to do ISSS, and it's still fine, right? He's doing it one-handed, but two-handed was figured out to be better. But let me explain something that would happen here. Adney and I, we would do ISSS over and over and over and over again, right? And there was this thing that would happen. It was really weird, and we could never explain why it happened. There's this thing that would happen where, see where his hand is right here, roughly? His first hand? There's this weird thing that would happen where we would do ISSS, and our hand would like, it would like grip on the ice, and it would like kind of send us up higher. I don't know if Adney remembers that, but I remember that being the case. And I never thought twice about it. I never tried to figure out like why it happened. But if we really play this slowly, this part right here, you'll see that he's not gripping it here. See how he slips right there? That little slip on that hand, he's slipping. So this is not an example of what used to happen on ISSS. I don't know where the hand placement is, but what would happen sometimes is this would happen, where okay, you see how these hands are not slipping? They're barely slipping until we get like up here, like way high up. And I think the reason in ISSS that this wasn't happening with momentum pivot skitter is because there's this gap here, and we weren't really, I mean, we were using MPS in other places, like for example here, but we weren't using it to go like vertically too often. Like even this clip right here, is an example of like we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. We were just we were just sending it. This is by Orzi JK, by the way. We were just sending it just like this. This is a perfect example of what we would always do with MPS. You just try to grab and go higher and just send it. But here it's so different because we're not, I mean, we're still sending it, but this is vertical. It's very vertical. Look at that. That is fucking crazy, bro. My hands are almost, they're not slipping until we get up here where they start to barely slip. But by that time, look at how much I've fucking traveled. And if you placed this rock where this rock is, we used to we were experimenting with like slippery climbing stuff and skittering on slippery surfaces like a month ago, and we could barely get up here. That was like a challenge, and that was part of fast ice actually. Now we're fucking doing this shit. Um, like that is actually fucking insane that this is possible. Look at my head. Look at the head placement, right? The arms are one thing. Look at where my head is. By the time I'm ready, this is probably the end of the slippery surface fucking scaling. Slippery scaling. This is probably the end of the slippery scaling trick. Now it's just about fucking grabbing it, right? But you can look at that height, dude. It's crazy. I'm in line with the rock that I was planning to fucking go to. So, what happened after that is this happened. Orzi said, "Bet I'll do a more difficult one." So he did. Right here. And we're gonna play this one in half speed. The start of it is definitely a the start of this is definitely definitely slippery scaling. Sorry, I'm still getting used to that word. But it's only done like twice. I see like two here. One. And then there's this left hand that places itself in the same spot. It's very minuscule. This is actually, I think, a worse example. Even though it's called advanced ice scale, I actually think it's a worse example than this. Because in this one, let's see the height difference, right? This is all slippery scaling, all of that. All of that was slippery scaling. We pause. We are one, right? Like one, and what is that? That length is probably like a third of a person. So 1 1/3 people. 1 1/3 climber. And then we go back here. His ended there. That's one person length. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that there's even more potential. There's like a shitload of potential. I didn't even realize this until I watched these back. I actually had a better I had a better slippery scale than he did. I should bring that up with him. Cause his ends. Wait, what the fuck? Yo, this is crazy. Um, wait. Wait, what? I just realized how crazy that is. Look how much higher my character is. Actually, I'm not higher by a third of a climber. I'm more like higher by like a fourth of a climber, but that's still like this distance is a fuckload of distance. I need to bring that up with Orzu. Um Anyways, hopefully that explains the differences between between slippery scaling and MPS. Is MPS dead? No. MPS is still very useful, I would say, in some places. Um, is slippery scaling the best way ever found to scale slippery surfaces in terms of like pure height? Absolutely. It's absolutely the best way. We can also talk about why it works on like a technical level. The reason that this works is because it was like I don't know if I explained this already. It was theorized a really long time ago that you could climb slippery surfaces if you were just keeping up your momentum. And the reason that works is because imagine you're holding on to like fucking ice in this game, right? Like let's just say like I just pause it like here. Imagine my climber is has no momentum here and I just hold onto the ice and I fall. If I have no upwards velocity, I just slip, right? But if my speed is good, if I have good speed going upwards and I place my hand on the ice, what happens is I am no longer being like pulled down by the full weight of my body. I am actually a lot of the force that would be applied on the hand downwards is counteracted by the velocity and the force of your body going upwards. Um, and that kind of fights against that friction a little bit. It makes the smaller friction less impactful. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, my old physics teacher would think I'm a dumbass. The friction actually helps us because when you apply a force downwards, the friction goes against that a little bit, and so we're actually being helped to go upwards by friction. God, that's so fucking cool. It's just, it's crazy, bro. Look at that. I'm gonna pause it when I think it's done. Okay, it was a little bit earlier than that. Right there. Yep. Right about there. Somewhere here, where the crown is just touching, is when I lose the speed that I would need to keep up grabs that actually grip the ice. Dude, I never thought we would be gripping slippery surfaces in this game. That is fucking crazy. That's actually really crazy that we can do that now. I think it's going to be hard to find applications for this that actually matter. Because MPS kind of solved everything. Or it solved a large portion of things when it came to like doing ice stuff. But hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this is going to take us.